Hi, so I am basically just gonna do like another another video today on just random shit. Just shit I sometimes talk to people about or views I have or just all this random fudge life fudge, the fudge of life. Um so like I had a friend at uni who is kind of having a hard time with like a sibling or them not being very nice to them. And my personal viewpoint on that is like some people will play with you just to get what they want out of you, and they're trying to get like a sense of satisfaction. Um, and these people, um, they essentially like hurt themselves. Not saying physically, but like these people who try to get this sense of satisfaction out of you, or are rude, or demoralize, or say you're less, or anything, or do these bad things to you. It's because they themselves are unhappy with their lives or something in their lives. It is the rare case of someone's just an a-hole. But generally when someone is like that, it's because they have like something is lacking in their own life, like they feel something lacking in their own life, there's a lacking in their own life, and they're trying to bring you down to their own level and add negativity to their lives just to bring you down to their level so you're like on the same phase as them. But that face. But yes, like honestly, just ignore those people. They're not freaking worth it. If they see the need to make others worse just to feel better about themselves, then they're not even worth it. Like screw them. They're not even like people worthy. Um, yeah. There is obviously different reasons. There's like different reasons some people could be like this. Like some people could think it is friendly, like they're used to people doing this and they think it's a thing of friendship. So some people could be perceived as rude or hurtful, but they're actually just used to this as a friendship and it's just what they're normal, or it's just what they've grown up, or it's just what were taught, so they don't know any different or any better. It's all different things in perspective. Like this isn't a good example, but me myself, like there was a certain time when I was like really blunt to people, and I thought that was helping or being nice, but I needed to soften things or sugarcoat them in certain cases when it was appropriate, or like in certain times of my life when I was going through certain situations to do with abuse and um bad situations and things like that. Like I would find myself sometimes off in the corner crying, and I would hate it, and I didn't want anyone to see me cry. So I would just like tell these people go away or just be rude and be like, go away, I don't want to talk to you, and all this or that, and pretty much make them fudge off. And that was rude. And like some of these people were my friends, and you know, I didn't want to push them away, but I didn't want them to see me sad or see me cry because at that point in time, I kind of viewed it as like weakness or that it was a bad thing. But it's like it's shedding the pain in the past. It's a sign that it's there. Um, I don't know, like it's getting it off your mind. Like who knows, tears are coming from the part of your brain that stores sadness and relieving the pressure. Who the fudge knows? There's probably some science behind it, but yeah, um, it's interesting. Like it can all be put into perspective. Like some of these people who are like mean or bad people, like it could be a sibling just being a dick, but they could have situations going on at home or at school or at work, like where someone's mean to them and they want to try to get it on someone else. Not saying it's the right thing to do, but it's not necessarily that they are as bad as you think it is. Like it could be an ulterior circumstance, like something going on you don't see in the background. um some people obviously are just rude, horrid people, but there could be like someone hurting them at home or someone else hurting them somewhere. Could be a bunch of different things like that. Like it could be someone hurts them at home, or there could be even the rare cases, like my stepfather used to do this to me about you have to be rude, or you have to be mean, you have to do something bad, you have to do something wrong, or I will hurt you at home, blah 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 type thing. Or like there's even the case of like if you've seen like certain TV shows like Simpsons, where like it's got people stealing lunch money or lunch or that. Like when I was a small kid at school, I didn't always have lunch or food every day necessarily. Like we had most days, but sometimes we just didn't. And like at that, when the school found out, they um like would give us these things, and our mum had to pay for it at the end of the year, which she hated, and she was so mad about it. And it didn't go down well with her, but we had to be nice and cool about it at school, and she started buying us lunch. But before this, I would ask people for lunch, and they were like, some people would say, "Oh, it's that kid, that gross kid that asks for food at school," but no kids understand that kid doesn't always have food themselves. And like at certain points, if I had gone like a day, I hadn't eaten for like a day, and it was on the second or third day, and I was so hungry, I would like run up and distract these kids, and I would take something out of their lunchbox and make out just a little meal for me and myself or my brother or this or that, and that's what we did to get by. And those people can be viewed as hard, bad people, but it doesn't necessarily mean like they're bad things because given certain situations, certain people will do certain things. Like in the situation when I was with my ex and they were stealing my income constantly and forcing me to do all these bad things, I would steal food to survive because I didn't have any money and I didn't have any food and I was starving. And at that point in time, I didn't know there was any help out there. And like at that point in time, my family just said fudge off. Because my ex said all these lies and rumors about me and said that I had money when I didn't, and blah blah blah. And after like 2 days of not eating, and I was going on the third day, I was like, fuck it. So I ran in and stole meat or something like that. And like even at the end of towards the end of this situation, when I managed to escape that situation in that house, I like once in this underwear that they forced me into, ran to the shops and like just opened this raw steak, like this raw meat, and just like ate this raw meat in the middle of shops, and people like, what's going on? This guy's hard. This guy's insane. This guy's a drug addict. This guy's probably possessed. But certain people in certain situations will do this. Yeah, and like abuse and trauma can definitely affect the different reasons people will do things. Um, like some people might attack people for food. Some people might steal for food. Some people might not need food. Some people might be biatches because they've had food their whole life and they don't yet know the struggles of other people. And they need to have like a day where it's just like a learn about each other day, learn about each other and where they came from day. There just needs to be like a day which is like an acceptance day of all people where we learn and accept about each other and where we came from and the reasons people do different things. Um, Like, even when it comes to being rude, there's certain different reasons people could be rude. Someone could be rude because they're sad and crying. Someone could be rude because they're going through something mentally, emotionally, or physically, whether it's like an illness and they don't want to be bothered, or they're not ill, or it could be even like, that time of month and they're like, I'm embarrassed, or it gives me not testosterone, estrogen, so I'm mad, don't come near me right now because I just need some space right now. Some people could be a little bit scared to go near people, so they would like, don't touch me or don't go near me because it's an actual physical fear they have, which is like something that actually scares and affects them daily. Um, and yeah, there's many different reasons for all these different things. Um, and they're not necessarily all the same, but some people categorize them as the same things when they might not be. Like sometimes it could even be neglect or like an empty feeling some people have, that makes them act this way, but you know, like most of the people that do horrible things all themselves need help, and like some people need to learn that, but I'm not saying the victims are any worse because these people should also not be getting treated like that because it's a horrible thing to mistreat or misuse or treat people badly. Like some people will just use someone for these horrible things and what they want and forget about them. Like how do you think that makes the other person feel? If you're going to do something like that, you need to tell the truth and have mutual moral understandings, which is like, whatever, then you both agree to it, who gives a shit? But yeah. Some people just don't see these things of themselves as like good or bad. Like some people don't see themselves as kind or as beautiful or as smart as they are, and some people see themselves as smarter or like the best, most attractive person in the world, but they're an asshole. Or some people don't see themselves as assholes; they just think it's normal. Like some people can't physically comprehend or process these things. I don't know what kind of conditions or mentalities they have. Yeah, I don't. I read a point for that here, but I don't really know what I was actually going on about, so I'm just improvising. Some of this goes back into this theory I had. This thing I found online. It just came across my screen, like most of the videos I watch. Just even when I start a new YouTube account to view, um, they just come across my screen. But one of the ones I found particularly interesting was about a certain kind of empath. Empaths obviously are people who can sense other things, like empaths can sense people's emotions or sense the emotions of them people around them. It's just like autistic empaths can't actually comprehend them properly. They can just know they can feel them, so they can understand themselves. They just can't display it to other people as easy. Um, but mirror empaths, they are supposed to be able to possess this like kind of ability, which is like mirroring yourself back at someone. It's supposed to be like when you look at someone or you look in the eyes, you can show someone else their soul or a part of their soul they see or they accept or they don't know or they don't accept. So it's kind of like you look into their eyes and you think this person's beautiful, this person's ugly. Sometimes that can actually, some people can truly see them, but sometimes it means you're an ugly person and you need to be nicer, or you're a beautiful person, you do kind things for people, or people could think this or that, and it's like showing them parts of themselves they accept or they don't want to accept. It can also work kind of like a lightning rod, like you've seen Family Guy, the lightning rod. Some people say those characters there that are the lightning rods could actually potentially be like, yeah, they could be lightning rods, or they could have the empathic ability of like the mirror empath, also known as the Hayaka empath, which is this word I don't really know much about. It's supposed to mean like sacred clown, but these people can like reflect your own emotions or your state of being back at you. You look at them and you see all these different things, and it's something about you that you might not know or accept, or you might not know or you need to know. Yeah, it's an interesting ability. Like some, if it comes into perspective, like some people might even have, like, I don't know if this is part of that ability or not, but this is a theory that like some people look at someone and like depending what light spectrum they see on or whatever the fudge it is, they see a different colored hair. So like some people could look at a hair and they see red hair or black hair or brown hair or blonde hair. I don't know how that happens or how it works. Some of these stuff and these situations of being people mean, blah, of people being mean and all these situations and that come from kind of like these cycles or these circles or these cycles that just make it happen from one generation to the next, and it's kind of like passed down trauma, and because someone's traumatized they turn around and they break down and then they push this trauma onto the next person in horrible different or the same ways, or they do the exact same things. And it's like, you know, someone in that line has to say, it's enough, it's time to end these cycles. Hurting another person because another person's hurt is just going to make them sad and hurt, especially if they had nothing to do with that situation directly. And it's just going to start a new cycle of someone else wanting to hurt someone else. And it's just ridiculous. Like, why would you do that? Why not vow for peace instead of war? Why try to get even when you can get fucking over it and get peaceful and go into the future with no one having to hurt each other. And then in that situation, you'll be able to weed out the ones who are actually causing these situations and be like, no, you people are no good for us. You can go to your fucking bus face, fucking fish stop, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Some people are manipulative, yes, in these situations, like you've gone to the people hurting other people, which could be for different reasons, but some people can be manipulative, right? But I believe there's many different reasons for manipulation. Like it could be like with my ex, where they were unable to hurt or murder me because they weren't strong enough, and they tried a bunch of times, and then they went out and tried to join all these groups of these bad people, and blah blah blah, and like in that situation when they were doing all this, and it was a scary situation at first, but they were manipulative, and they were manipulative because they were someone who wanted to try to hurt people, and they were hiding it, and they tried their best to rape and murder people. I have a scar on my chest from one time when they tried to cut my heart out. That was kind of scary. Or like I used to have a little bit of a scar here or something like that. And some of the scars on my arm here are from them, some are from me because I was put in this messed up mindset where I thought I had to, or bad things would happen after they did it a couple of times and they forced me to do it. It's kind of like this weird ass brainwashing that made me believe I had to do it or bad things would happen. Um, and in these situations, I was lying to people because I was scared they would get hurt by my ex. So I was lying to people to protect them, which is not necessarily a good thing, but there's different reasons people lie or manipulate. Like even in this situation when I was living with my grandparents, I woke up and they put a knife to my neck and they said like they were gonna hurt me and my grandparents unless I took money and gave it to them. So, I did it and I didn't tell my grandparents because I was scared they were gonna hurt my grandma. And I did that a bunch of times. I was getting a government payment then, so I was taking money out of my government payment and putting it back until I couldn't afford to anymore. And yeah, so most of it was paid back anyway, but it's like in these situations I could have told the truth, but in that time of fear, some people think it's the right decision to not talk up or tell anybody about these situations, but it may or may not be, depending where you are, the right decision. Um, so yeah, there's different reasons for manipulation. Someone could also be embarrassed to manipulate someone, like that's a classic who farted, but someone could very well make a fart noise and be like who farted, which is a different kind of manipulation, the who farted theory. Um, yeah, some people have like a lack of their own life, and that's where they try to bring other people down to the same levels as them, when we should all be trying to get back to this same starting point level of where we are. We should all be trying to get up here, not go down here. We should all be up here, not down here. We should all be doing that, like helping each other up instead of kicking each other down. I do think there's an exception if someone's trying to make people worse. Don't necessarily kick them down, but don't help them up. They have to get on their own fucking feet and stop dragging people down before you will help lift them up. Um, that kind of goes on to my equality rules things. Like, no one should be any more than each other. No one should be any more than each other. I almost said any less for some reason. No one should be any less than each other. We all start off here. We all start off the same. Most of us are all born exactly, beings like the angels and the cosmics and the celestials and this or that. Um, yeah, so equality rules. So, like, again, we should have like an equality day to see where everyone came from, where everyone is. In a different video, I have my theory on life is all like a garden, and people are all like flowers. They are unique kinds of beauty. Some start in richer or poorer soil. Obviously, some of flowers can get abandoned or neglected or abused. Um, but yeah, we should honestly just have like an equality day for representing that we are all here, we are all known, and we all just need to get the fuck over it. Like, you might not necessarily agree with something, that doesn't mean you have to hate it or go against it, with the exceptions of like rape, murder, and pedophiles and shit like that. Like, fuck them off, but everything besides that should have an equality day. I'm not going to say, oh, there's a reason you murdered someone. And if you want to argue the fact that, like, murder, if someone's trying to kill you, it's to kill you and you kill them, it's self defense, not murder. So, honestly, Equality Day, bar the three, that'd be a pretty cool day to have. Um, someone has a perfect everyone to them, even if they don't meet them in this lifetime or until they die. Someone out there is perfect for everyone. Someone out there is someone's perfect mentality, maybe not to be around all the time, even obviously, like part of their perfect person could be that they all have their own time sometimes. Someone out there is perfectly beautiful for someone. Like, someone out there will be perfectly beautiful for someone, no matter what they look like, they'll end up looking perfect for someone. Um, so, someone could think, oh, I don't think I'm pretty, no one wants me, but you're perfect for someone, and you need to look at yourself and you need to love yourself and accept the beauty you have and count the blessings in your life, not the curses. Don't say what you're without, unless of course it's food or something that you need to eat, but don't say what you're without. Say what you have. Count what you have. Like, I'm here, I'm me. Try to be happy, and then you can say I'm fucking happy. Um, I'm someone's perfect beauty. I'm beautiful in my own way. There's unique beauty, there's sexual beauty, there's unique beauty, sexual beauty, there's standard beauty. There's like all these different kinds of beauty, and I don't think anyone is ugly unless they take ugly actions, and that makes them an ugly person. So yeah, count what's going right and what goes good for you, ignoring what goes bad. I'm not saying don't acknowledge what goes bad for you, because sometimes it's a good idea to keep tracks on it, because um, there could be outside forces doing with these things of what goes bad for you. But like, just do your fucking best and forget the rest. Take what you have. Be glad you made it in any situation you gave it, because some people don't get that fucking chance or that honor or that lovely or that love or that situation. So just be fucking glad. Like, I have, this is going to be a later thing, but when I go through these bad things, I'm like, well, at least it wasn't someone else. At least it wasn't someone younger. At least it wasn't someone I knew. Um, I made it, so at least it wasn't someone else. Um, like, in this bad situation when I was with my ex and they were involved in these, trying to get involved with these bad people and do these horrible things to me, I went around to all my friends that I had before and at the time, and I pretty much was rude to them all. I was like to them all, I was like, "F off, go away, don't be friends with me," being rude and mean to them to push them away, because I was scared of my ex at the time and what kind of person they were and what they would be, and the fact that they would use people I cared about against me to get to me. So I was like, I pissed them all off. I made it look like I hated them all, and I was like, "No, go away. I don't like you." But I secretly still loved all of them, all these bits, but I was like, if my ex is a bad person and it hurts these people, I'm just going to push them away, because that is the best way to love them in that situation, and that was just what made sense to me at the time. But yeah, and like beauty is what you make of it, and it's all a perspective that was made up by someone at some point. Someone can look at a rock and think that's raw natural beauty, but some people think, oh, it's just a rock. Some people look at this rock and they don't realize it could be a fucking diamond in the rough. It could be a fucking amethyst, it could be a topaz, and you could love amethyst or topaz more than diamonds. But people say diamonds is the most beautiful because it's rare and it's expensive. But any different rock could be beautiful to anyone, and un unrefined and unrefined, undefined and unrefined, and like raw rocks can be beautiful to some people, yes, in their raw beauty, but some people you have to like refine the rock and see what's inside or underneath someone, not physically cut them open, but you have to see like the beauty inside of someone to appreciate the true value sometimes. It's not always, that's like the saying, beauty is skin deep and blah blah blah. Like what lies underneath could be the fucking most beautiful part in the world, and no one sees it, no one cares about it, no one goes out of their way to love or see or respect this person. Some people are rude to people because they're jealous of them, they're jealous of someone, or they have something they want, or this person is happy with themselves and they're living their life and happy to themselves, and some of these people have things about themselves they're hiding or they don't want to admit, and they're struggling themselves on the inside and they don't want to admit it, so they're just mean to these other people. So maybe if if ever, like it's probably not going to happen, but if there was ever an equality day on that day, it's just like a question to say this or that, or you can even just have like the anonymous box where someone puts in a struggle they have and everyone reads out their struggles in this anonymous day box, and like whoever gets it read out is lucky, and then like they read out all the different struggles, and people can just be like, put all these comments onto a fucking equality board in the middle of the town, and people can read like why they should be okay to be that, or why they need to tell people that, or this or that. That'd be a pretty good day, but I'm not going to say it necessarily does exist. Like, I like the idea of Harmony Day. Harmony Day was a pretty cool day. It started around a certain flower. If I remember this theory story correctly, it started with a brother and a sister, and the sister wanted her own thing after the brother started the day, because everyone was doing the day to raise awareness for harmony, and they were doing the day, and the sister got very jealous, so she pushed him off of a balcony thing, and they died, and they were one day reborn as the spirit of harmony, especially when the day spread as well, and they were eventually one day reborn as like how this whole theory I read as a children's book goes, and yeah, it's interesting theories. Yeah, it's not a very good video. It's just some of my points or viewpoints on life. All about angles and perspectives. But cool. Thank you so much for watching or not watching. I hope everyone here has a nice and a lovely day. Love you all. Goodbye.